Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my sewing room. So a few months ago, I made my mom what I termed the world's easiest skirt, and she didn't like it. So today we are going to take that skirt and we are going to turn it into a jumper dress. Now, I have to admit, I knew before I gave it to her that she probably wouldn't like it because she had wanted an elastic waist skirt, and in the method of elastic waist skirt that I made for her, which is what she wanted, there just wasn't enough fabric to go around where it would be like a fun flowy skirt. It was too fitted to her hips. And that is because it was made out of 2 panels of fabric. So I have already taken the elastic waist off at this point, but we still have 2 panels of fabric right here with pockets on either side. And frankly, 2 panels is not enough. And so we are going to add another panel into here, and then we are going to turn this into a jumper dress, which is what she has decided that she wants. She is really quite short-waisted, and so having a skirt like have to kind of sit at her natural waist, it's just difficult, and it just kind of cuts off the body weirdly. So that's one of the reasons that we are turning this into a jumper dress here. And maybe she's just getting, you know, hooked on the jumper dress train like I have been for so long. So luckily I have quite a bit more of this fabric left. It's actually 2 times what I just showed you. And all of this was thrifted by me about a year ago. And I already had made this dress for me first, and then had enough to do the skirt and obviously have even more left. I don't know 100% if I'm going to be able to actually like match the sort of plaid-ish window pane pattern on here. We're going to try, so we're going to find where I can kind of match this up. But the first thing that I'm going to do now that I've already taken off the elastic is I am going to slit one side of this, the back side, all the way down the middle and split it so that I can open this up flat. And I'm going to insert another panel in there, leaving enough of this fabric left so that I can make a jumper style bodice on top. So let's split that open, cut out another panel over here. We'll have to undo just a little bit of the hem right by where that's going to go in, just to slot it in correctly. And then we will have a much more full skirt that will then be gathered back up into the new bodice. So one thing that I'm doing here to make it kind of blend hopefully a little bit more seamlessly is that I'm trying to seam it in the white area. Now, the downside with this pattern is that scattered throughout the white, we have things like Winnie the Pooh. However, I do think that that's still going to look a little bit better than having like purple show up midway, because this is going to be slit right here. So about a 1/2 inch over from a purple. We're definitely not going to be able to do like the turquoise purple turquoise pattern. It's going to be a little bit off from there, I'm pretty sure. However, I still think that putting it kind of in the back of one of these white sections is going to be a little better. So I've drawn my line here about a 1/4 inch down from like the edge of the dark parts of the purple. This is wavy, so it's going to be a little bit more than a 1/4, but should all still be within the seam allowance. So I have my new piece over here cut out, and I've serged around all the edges. I have cut my old skirt piece down the back, down the center back, and serged that new edge. And now, as carefully as possible, I am attempting to match the plaids and put those together right sides together with each of the new edges. And we are going to stitch that 1/2 inch seam allowance and see how that looks on both sides. All right, our new piece is slotted in, and look at this seam. I mean, for a seam, that's pretty seamless. And I have also already hemmed the bottom, so now we can just gather up the top of the skirt and we'll be able to move on to the bodice, except that Maisie apparently thinks this is hers. Maisie? There you go. That's better. So luckily, I have my mom here right now, which means that we can actually fit this bodice on her. So this is the pattern that we are using. It is my go-to. You have seen this a lot of times on this channel. This is Simplicity 8252, and this is the same one that I used for my Winnie the Pooh dress, my Barbie dress, my blue gingham jumper dress, like a lot of stuff, because this is such an easy to fit pattern and it's really, really comfortable, and it fits just really well on my body, and it seems like it's going to fit well on her body as well. It's also just like really, really adjustable. And so that is really what we're doing. This pattern, basically, it has some tucks right here and it has a diagonal dart right here. Traditionally, it does have a dart, also very narrow one in the back. We're going to forego that today. But basically what I have done is I took my mock-up that I usually start with and I've pinned it onto my mom, kind of matching her center front and just marking where we need to make some changes. And then the back, because the back is relatively rectangular, I literally just took measurements and wrote them down, and we're just gonna make it up. We're also gonna live on the wild side because she goes home in like about a day and a half, and so we're not gonna make a mock-up.
So I'm really hoping this is going to fit well.
I'm hoping this is going to fit well as well. I think that we will be just fine. Again, this is a really just like nice, friendly pattern. So definitely recommend this one. And yeah, let's go ahead and cut this out. We're going to line this bodice with a cotton sateen, and then it's going to be the Winnie the Pooh fabric on the exterior. So let's cut some stuff out and make you a little bodice. All right, it is fitting time and it's too big, which is a good thing, honestly, because it means that we will be able to fix it. So what I've already done is I've taken a little bit out of the side seam, both at the top and also kind of at the middle, but we've left around the waist as is. That actually seems to be fitting really well. It's really more in the bust and kind of the upper portion of the body that it is not fitting as well, where it's too big. The nice thing is what this might be able to let us do is to potentially get rid of some of the weird pattern repeat that's happening here in the front. So we've got like a Tigger arm and we've got like an extra Pooh face, and it would be nice to get rid of that. And I think that we can, because we're going to be taking out a lot of our excess from here, from the center. And so really with something like this, it would probably be easier to do it with the seams facing out, but that's okay. We're just gonna take little pinches of this and make it get a lot smaller so it fits better. I also feel like this is pretty high on you, but we could, we can, so we can drop that down as well. So I'm gonna take a whole bunch of pinches here and get rid of some of the excess, and then we'll re-sew it back together a little bit smaller. We have a fitting bodice. So I am going to curve this bit out. That was where I was talking about that we're going to connect the straps from. But otherwise, I think that looks really good. You want to turn, show them around the back. Oh, except it's falling down right here. Obviously, this won't fall down when we have straps connecting. And actually, before you take this off, I'm going to mark where your straps are going to connect to as well. We've got Pooh right there on the back as well. And yeah, we're ready to connect the skirt. We're going to bind this off with bias tape all across the top, and then we're going to be able to add the straps. That is kind of the last thing that you would do after you bind it off. And I will show you how that goes together. So these are the changes that I made from what you saw on my mom. So we're taking out this much on each of the sides. I extended the dart up just a little bit, and then this is our new center front line. So that's the biggest change here. This area in here are where our little pleats go, but we've taken really almost all of this in pretty significantly, and it's really quite a curvy front as well. And then because I took that in so much, I also kind of have to curve this out, and this is going to be where the strap connects. So it's going to get all bound with bias tape, but I had to kind of curve it because this was a hard edge before for where the strap was going to connect. But that is all great. And now I can go ahead and cut off the excess, serge that off, and then we will bind off the top, attach a skirt, etc. We'll have a bodice once we add the straps. So I do need to attach the skirt to the bodice, but in the meantime, I have also cut out strap pieces, and these are 5 inches wide, which will make up into a 2-inch strap once they are folded and minus the seam allowance. And we are going to kind of play around with the positioning of where that seam is actually going to lay across the strap, because we want to see if we can maximize the poos on the design. But these are ready to go to be made into straps, and now I am going to attach the skirt to the bodice, and I'm also going to bind the top of the bodice, like I mentioned, with bias tape. All right, the skirt is attached to the bodice, and I have also sewn the binding all along the edge. This is all hand sewn on the inside. And then on top of that, I have also made some straps. So now we just have to connect the straps to the bodice and hopefully we will be all done. Now that said, I realized after I re-hemmed that new insert that I put into the skirt section that I was actually going to take up the hem as well. So my mom might decide that she wants it shortened also, because I think we had kind of marked a spot, yeah, like 2.5 inches higher. So it's possible we'll cut off the bottom and re-hem it also. But let's attach these straps and see how she feels about the whole thing. All right, we've got it on. There's a couple of tiny tweaks that need to be made, but the length is not one of them.
No, the length is good.
So that's great. Yeah. We can take out the random safety pin that we put on there back in January. Yeah. The 2 tweaks we need to make is apparently one shoulder on my mom is shorter than the other. So this shoulder fits fine. This strap was a little long, so I've made a little tuck here and I'm just gonna reattach that strap in the back. And then the other thing is that although the bodice seemed like it was fitting her right before, like before we added the skirt, it's actually a little bit large in the waist, which is great because I personally don't like how this is separating here. And we did this just because of that curve in the front. But we're gonna undo the skirt a little bit there, gather it up, which is why I didn't clip the gathering threads yet. Okay. I personally feel that you should never clip gathering threads until you are happy and everything is done, because you might need to change things. And so we're gonna gather the skirt up a little bit tighter and get rid of that little white parting in the pattern, just because it draws attention to things.
And then I'm gonna be matching to my daughter.
Yeah, and we'll put on both of our matching dresses tomorrow and show you the final dress for my mom.
Yeah. If I were a bell, I'd be ringing.
And that is the dress. What do you think of it?
I really like it. I really, really like it. I like being twinsies with my daughter too. But I really like it. It's very comfortable. I love the fact that it has pockets. Because I've already been using the pockets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it had pockets as a skirt too, to be fair.
Yes,
So
but I like
wasn't
it
an
much
addition.
better. It looks so much better as a jumper than it did as a skirt.
And I personally think that jumpers are just really comfortable, even
It
compared
is really
to skirts,
comfortable.
because you don't have anything binding around your waist.
I was just outside in the cold. You know, I'm used to 30 degrees more heat. And I was outside in just a long sleeve and the jumper, and I was very comfortable, even though I had sandals on.
Yeah.
And it was really comfortable. And Rebecca's talking about how I probably should have had my waistline, get my phone out.
Yeah, it was something that we
Higher.
had talked about in kind of putting this jumper dress together, and even in the original skirt. Like I mentioned, my mom is really high-waisted, but she doesn't usually like wearing things at her natural waist.
I don't like it because usually they're tight and they make me feel uncomfortable. So this is down lower.
Yeah.
And I get visually what she's saying, that it would look nice.
Yeah, purposely we put this a little lower, but it does mean that it's kind of at a larger part as opposed to a smaller part. In my opinion, that makes it a little less flattering. It is something that we could always change in the future if you do decide you want it higher. But she likes to have it lower because then she doesn't look as short-waisted.
Right, because I'm like freakishly tall. Tall waist,
She's
short-waisted.
6 feet tall.
And I'm really short-waisted. So yes, but I know what she says now, because now that I've seen the whole thing, I get it.
Yeah.
But
And I'm
it's
so
really
glad that we
comfortable
took this part in. I think that is so much more flattering than having that separation, and it doesn't feel any tighter.
Because it's still loose enough anyway.
Yeah, so I think that was really great. And it looks really cute on you.
Yeah, so we're wearing curtains. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
What thrifting can do.
Curtains from the
thrifted
90s.
Curtains. Yeah, and it's really cute.
And it's Winnie the Pooh, which is her favorite. I'm so glad you love it.
Yeah, I do.
So yeah, that was just a really easy turnaround project from a skirt to a jumper. Now, obviously, we did have the extra fabric.
And she did it so quickly.
Yeah, I think that was, 2 days that we were working on this?
With that.
With a lot of other stuff
things
going on.
on.
Honestly, hour-wise for this project, it was probably 4 hours, something like that.
Now I'm hoping she'll just give me this lovely little petticoat that I'm wearing underneath it, so because it gives it added oomph.
We'll see. Let me look at my petticoat stash. But yeah, I mean, just a nice quick little project for her birthday, because her birthday is coming up very, very soon. In fact, by the time you're seeing this video, it might even be her birthday, or might be almost her birthday. So you can send her your best wishes in the comments down below too. But I think overall this was definitely a success. Good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you liked this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and a little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube at least once a week, usually with sewing vlogs like this out on Tuesdays, and sometimes with additional costuming and sewing related content out on Saturdays. But I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Patreon and my Ko-fi down in the description below, or you can send me a super thanks or join my YouTube channel memberships right here on YouTube below the video.
Here's my super thanks.
I'd also like to give a special shout out to my Guardian level patrons, Jean and Kim. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!